Hey everybody, how's it going?
Oh my God, was that a countdown? Did it really, really happen that way?
It
5,
did.
4,
That was
3, 2, 1.
perfect timing.
Oh my
Perfect
God,
timing.
look at that,
BSG.
guys. Hey, thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yes.
Oh, you're using the thing.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh my God.
Maybe one day I'll shout it out for you.
Oh,
But I don't want to
see?
hurt your
See?
ears over there
That's
in,
true.
in
That's true.
chat.
Yeah. Sorry, we won't do that. Well, we should introduce ourselves, of course.
I am Elle Tea,
And hey, holla at your boy. It's me, the BSG. That's right, Battlestar Galactica, aka the Colossus of Clout, aka the Purveyor of Petty. So yeah, I didn't do it without yelling. I did it without yelling.
Nice and calm.
I'm nice and calm.
Switching
nice
it
and
up.
calm,
You're throwing me off. You're throwing me off a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
All right. But welcome to Question Player 2. Our
Yes.
geek dating show advice.
Yeah, geek dating, relationship, love advice.
Everything. So
All
if
of
you
it.
have any questions, comments, confessions, go ahead and put them in the chat. And if you want us to read it out loud, go ahead and give us a super chat.
Oh yeah, that's right. So today I thought that it would probably be good, since we kind of talked about compatibility and things of that nature. It would be kind of fun to just kind of review some like iconic relationships throughout geek pop culture. You know,
All
just
right, cool.
television, film, comics, games, whatever it may be. And just kind of, break them down, see if they're good, if they're bad, what can we learn from them in any perspective.
Interesting. I actually really do like this topic, and I feel like Hollywood sets up a very unrealistic standard for relationships.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like most of the relationships that are portrayed in movies and TV are toxic,
Oh, well, true.
bordering
true.
on
True.
abusive.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we should try to mimic our lives after the people we see on TV. It's starting to change a little bit, I think. Hopefully we can find some good examples.
I think we have some good examples.
But there are
too.
a lot of bad examples. And for you guys in the chat, let me know what your favorite couple is that you've seen on TV or in a movie or in a video game.
Video game, comics,
Do you have a
whatever it
favorite?
is. Jeez. There are so many. I like to see, like, right there, Red Blue Blur, Spider-Man and Mary Jane. That's interesting right there. Like, ooh. That's Urkel and Laura. Tommy and Kimberly. Of course, I knew Tommy and Kimberly would be one.
Except
and I thought about
for
that.
Kimberly just kind of pieced out with that Dear John letter. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the best.
Don't know if that was the best relationship.
Do like
for
her better
me.
than Kat, though. I try to give Kat a good chance.
But when it comes to Kat, she's not
Nightwing
really
and
the best.
Starfire, I like that one.
Oh, interesting. You know what? Well, since we did say Tommy and Kimberly, let's discuss it first.
I mean, we have a lot of Power Rangers fans in the chat.
Exactly.
We are Power Ranger fans, so
Exactly.
that might be. Hey, we already have a super chat from the Red Blue Blur.
Well, it looks like we're changing our subject a little bit. Red Blue Blur says, "Cool. I'll start with Bay and Jay and Spidey and."
Nice.
Spidey and MJ. Well, Bay and Jay, that's, Beyonce and Jay-Z. That's interesting.
They have a little bit
of
a
cheating situation. And see, it's interesting because the thing is, he's older.
Yep.
She's younger. Generationally, I don't know if that was a gap that kind of could have made a problem. I don't know. We don't know everything about the relationship. They keep everything very, very quiet.
But they are kind of on the same socioeconomic
Oh, yes,
level.
that's right, which we said is very important.
In the spotlight, they understand the difficulties that come with being extremely famous.
Oh, yeah. And they do kind of keep things to themselves to
Very
make sure
private.
that other people don't know,
Yes.
which is actually a good thing. Because I'll say that when it comes to relationships, you don't want to be the person that's just like, all right, well, here's my problem, and world, get ready to hear it too. Why do you have to involve everyone else in it when it happens to be something that's between you and your significant other?
That is a thing that I find out with maybe millennials and people who are a little bit younger.
Oh,
I think
social
we
media.
actually fall into the millennial category depending which one you look at.
I think we do.
But everyone puts it on social media, and I don't necessarily think that is the right way to go about your relationship problems.
It's not.
I think your problems are between you and the other person, and if you really do need advice, you talk to your close circle of friends.
Yes.
You ask them one-on-one in a very personal way, and they will be the ones to give you the best advice, in my opinion. The people that you trust and respect.
There you go. But I mean, I always suggest, well, when you're going to start with anything concerning your relationship, start in your relationship. Start inside and work your way out.
Yes.
So have the conversation with your significant other. Whatever the situation is, it still has to deal with them. So you're going to have to talk to them at some point. Start off with them. figure out exactly where you're going to go and what's going to happen from there. And then from there, you work your way out. But sometimes you do need advice. And you can't go ahead and speak to somebody sometimes if you don't know exactly what you're going to say. So, yeah,
that's true.
That's
and
where
then
you can
also,
work
you
outside.
need to know what you want. So we have Layla that says Katniss and Peeta. And if you've read the books, there's like minor spoilers ahead.
Oh.
Katniss has kind of a dilemma with who she is interested in. And ultimately, spoilers, at the end, she, cover your ears if you haven't heard this, she goes with Peeta because he is a good complement to her being feisty and aggressive. And the other guy that she was going to go with, like, you know, kind of was too similar.
Isn't Peeta, but really he's really he's passive, right?
But he's a sweetheart. He is incredibly caring, incredibly generous and giving. Whereas, you know, Katniss is very kind of stoic and very, like, maybe not necessarily in touch with her emotions or, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, that was kind of like opposites attract if you watch last week.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Hitting right back on it, which I do love. That was a good one. But he also did say Spider-Man and MJ.
Yeah, and
those two are interesting for me.
It is, and it depends kind of what universe we have Mary Jane from.
Oh my God.
When it gets into comic books, it gets a little convoluted because it really depends which one you're looking for.
Oh.
Girl next door, Mary Jane, who's not necessarily, I don't know, it's kind of hard. We get a lot of that. But
yeah, like, you're right. When it comes to, like, when you're reading, if you're reading on, you know, Spectacular, or you're reading The Ultimate or anything like that.
Or if you're just watching the movies.
Watching movies or cartoons.
Versus, like, Gwen, if you're into the Amazing Spider-Man movies or...
That's true. There are so many different ways to look at their relationship, but ultimately everyone always does say, well, hey, this is where it should be. This is where Peter should be. He should be with MJ. That's what people always say, you know, hey, Tiger, that's where it started. That's where it will end. Yeah. And with that being the case, their relationship is something that I can say in some iterations is very good.
Yeah.
It's very positive because she understands what he does for a living.
And knowing, like, the secret identity, we'll get into some other comic book couples that are mostly like the mask thing is part of the appeal.
Definitely.
But for MJ and Peter Parker, I feel like they have an understanding. They grew up together, you know, girl next door, went to school together. They have, I don't know, like a really good relationship, ideally.
I think so. It's like you said, they grew up with, they were just like, they were crushes with each other since they were kids, blah, blah, yada, yada. Finally comes to fruition in some iterations. Yes. Other iterations, she just moved in, she was introduced through Aunt May. There are so many different ways people look at it. But the thing is, it's like, still, I do appreciate their ethic, where it's Peter being forthright.
Yeah.
He's very honest with her, you know, and well, ever since the secret identity popped out, he's very honest with her, and she is just when it comes to support, that's where she comes through, and it's like, it's an example of something you should kind of look into when it comes to a relationship.
And she understands, like, your life is at risk. Obviously, she cares enormously, but understands that he needs to do this for the greater good.
Yeah.
And I think in real life, that would be so ridiculously difficult to come to terms with. Like, on maybe not a superhero scale, but if you're dating someone who is a police officer or a firefighter, you're going to be worried on a daily basis if they're going to come home in certain situations, depending where you work and what job they have. So you have to be, I don't know, a very certain mindset. I don't know if I have the words to describe it, but it's like... I
like to say, actually, in some ways, you go through a lot of sacrifice. Being that other person when it comes to someone who chooses to do that. Because what they're doing is putting their life on the line every day for that job. And you are putting their well-being, you know, like you're thinking about them. And that's also dealing with your own personal health and your own personal mindset, mentally, emotionally, all this stuff gets tied in. So it's a lot of sacrifice of giving of yourself to give of your partner to do that.
And I feel like, for me personally, like, I'm not super needy, but I don't want to be having dinner every day and then the person that I'm with being like, hey, I gotta go. For the greater good. Or like, hey, I know we're supposed to do this thing and we have, like, date plans, and I know that you're doing it for other people and you're saving lives, but a part of me is way too selfish to ever be like ideal Mary Jane. I couldn't do it. Like, I love reading it in comic books, but I don't know if it's... There are some women out there or some men out there who is that generous and that giving and that understanding, but I feel like for the majority of people... Oh, we got another super chat from Toku Kid. Mr. J and Harley's relationship goals.
Ooh. Okay, Toku. Well,
Want to just jump right into that one?
Hey,
it is a super chat, so let us talk about...
Let me get old school and tuck my hair into my little diving cap.
All right.
And all right, let's go in.
That is one of the most toxic relationships, I feel like. That
Ever.
Is like idealized by people. Like, I don't understand it. Like, when I see Halloween costumes of Mr. J and Harley Quinn, I'm like,
oh my God.
No, that is straight up abusive, in my opinion.
It is. It's not a good relationship.
In
but,
almost every iteration. Like,
yes.
I actually don't know a story where I like the Joker and Harley together.
Oh, no? No, you don't like...
I'm trying to think, and she deserves
better.
Not him. Like, no one should be with the Joker. He's psycho.
No. I mean, he's a narcissist in one way. He's a psychopath. He's possibly schizophrenic. There's a lot of things going on with him. And when it comes to being someone that it's like, hey, your crazy matches his crazy. And that may be something where some people are like, well, that's what you have to be. You have to be crazy in this world. And my crazy matches his. It's not the best thing when, you're getting 5 across the eye. It's not the best thing at all. And now we have seen Harley who does fight back, and it becomes this weird kind of thing. But that's still toxic in itself. You shouldn't have to raise your hand to anyone in a relationship. It doesn't make sense.
And
it's not good.
Okay, there is a difference. When you are in a relationship, you will inevitably have arguments. Mm-hmm. You will get into not physical confrontations, but you will have, at some point, a disagreement. Yeah. Yeah. And that is 100% healthy. That is 100% normal. But it's the way that you deal with it. Their communication is probably like the best thing. But in relationships, I feel like the best things that you have are probably respect. And if one person does not respect the other, which I always see the Joker kind of just dismissing. Yes. And I don't like that. That's already a toxic relationship, in my opinion.
That's very true. Because the thing is, when it comes to a relationship, you want to be validated. You want to be heard. You want to be respected. That's pretty much, those are tenements of intimacy. And if you can't get that in a relationship, maybe then you shouldn't be in that relationship. Because it's something that you're definitely going to need at some point. And, when it comes to toxic relationships and sometimes individuals like that, they know how to manipulate. And they will, at moments when they see that you've hit a breaking point, they'll be the best person. They know exactly what you need. They've always known. Yeah. And they'll pay attention, and they'll give it to you at that moment. But then later when they feel that, okay, now your cup is full, you're fine, go ahead and sip some of that, and I'll just be mean and do everything I want to again. I'll dismiss your feelings. I'll negate anything that you have to say, and all these things. It's a horrible kind of relationship, a bad ethic, and also it's a workplace romance.
Actually,
I thought about that because they work with each other.
And that does make sense. And then also, like, the way the relationship starts, you have the patient, doctor confidentiality issue. You should not be getting in relationships with any of your patients. No. Just like teachers should not be getting in relationships with their students. It is one of those things where there are, like, clear dividing lines. That is not good. If you want to date someone in that situation, that's for another show, because we got a whole lot to say on that.
That's true.
But it's not good. And the thing is, when you don't if there's a lack of trust and a lack of respect, it is already a toxic relationship. That's where jealousy comes in. Yes. That's where abuse comes in. Yes. If someone is trying to control your actions, even if it's something small, like, I don't like you wearing that. I can see if you're going out to a nice dinner and, your significant other is in sweatpants, you've got to be like, you got to put on real pants, man.
You can't give up tonight. Tonight's not the night you give up.
Yeah, and it's like, put on a shirt. We're going out. Yeah. We're going to a friend's graduation or something. You can
dress to match. Dress to match. You know what I mean?
So I'm not talking about that, but when people are trying to control I don't want you hanging out with those people anymore. Oh, but those are my friends since we've been friends forever. Oh yeah, but I don't want you to talk to your family anymore. Hey, I don't want you to do this. There are certain things that where controlling goes from, like, hey, maybe I don't think you should have that sixth drink tonight. That's true. Versus like, I don't want you to do this. It's kind of hard to describe, but...
No, I mean, I think you were spot on. That was right on point. And I agree with it. And that's the thing where it's like, when someone is in that kind of relationship, they'll do that thing where they're saying they're fine. And this is an acronym I've used before when it says FINE, where it's fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. That's fine.
Okay.
That's literally, and they'll be like, oh no, I'm fine, I'm fine. After a while, you're like, oh no, they're actually using that.
Yeah.
They're using that. They're not actually saying anything else. You can see where everything's bad. It's like, hey, you want to say something to that friend.
Yeah.
I think if you see something, say something. And have that conversation. But yeah, probably taking on a vote, not a good relationship to mark yourself after.
It is not. And if anyone in the chat wants to fight us on this one and explain why Harley and the Joker should be together, go ahead and put it in there.
Yeah,
We'll read
put it in
out
the
loud.
chat, and yeah,
we seem to be
definitely
in
will.
agreement that is a horrible relationship to be in. I feel like it kind of starts. It borders on this weird thing, like when Twilight became really popular. This obsessive love of like, love shouldn't be like that. I feel like the best kind of love is with someone that is fine without you. Love in movies and TV is always like, I can't live without you. I don't know how to survive without you. And it's like, realistically, do you want to date someone like that? You want to date someone who doesn't really need you, who is independent, who is put together, intelligent, has a job, can be like an adult, more or less.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's like I say, you don't want someone to be like, you're like, oh, I'm dating this person, that's my boo. You don't want them to be your boopopolis. Yeah. Pretty much, you don't want them to be the center of everything. That's what a metropolis is, the center, it's a big thing. That's exactly what you're doing when you're like, oh, okay, this is my boopopolis. This is all that's going to be important to me. You don't need that. If you have that kind of situation, what are you going to do when they're not around?
Yeah, I mean, it is true, but there are people that are like that their significant other is the only person that matters in your entire life, which for some people, I think it's fine. If they are your best friend, and I think they should be your partner, and they should be able to back you up and support you and respect you and trust you in every way that a best friend, a partner should. But I don't know, there's like this obsessive thing of like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to articulate this as well as I want to, but the I need you, I will die without you, that is like a Hollywood trope that is not actually healthy in real life. I bet a lot of you watch The Notebook, and A Notebook is like heralded as like such a great romance movie, but let's be real, they had one summer together, so let's say a maximum of 3 months they got to know each other. They didn't see each other for a decade, and this fool is building a house for this girl and expecting her to come back. In real life, that is creepy. That is weirdly obsessively creepy.
Oh,
and like, but in movies we're like, oh, that's such a romantic gesture, I love it. And it's like, when you think about it, that ain't that. I don't know. I would be freaked out. I was like, so for the past decade, while I was living my life and going out and having life experiences, you were thinking about me every day and building a house for us to live in together, even though I haven't seen you for like 10 years.
And then, it is that weird Ryan Gosling stare that he does, where it's like, maybe no one's behind these eyes. Maybe I'm a robot. You don't know for sure, but it just looks like he may murder you. I don't know if that was the best relationship.
I don't think so either, but but this is what Hollywood portrays to us of what romance should look like. I think when you are dating someone, you need to... Shay, what are you doing over there? People are calling you out.
Shay, you're making me nervous. Everybody's freaking out, Shay. You're freaking out, Shay. 500 Days of Summer. 500 Days of Summer actually is a good one.
I
my God, I love that movie.
500 Days of Summer is...
Oh, God, it's a bad relationship. I loved it. I feel a lot of nerd guys have gone through that kind of thing where it's like, you date this girl and then she is just like, I'm a free spirit. I gotta live my life. Blah, blah.
Okay,
and you're like, but I'm building a log cabin. Like, literally, you go back to that. You're like,
but it is that obsessive love where it's like 500 Days of Summer. I also really love that movie, but I like the girl's perspective where she was already like, this is not serious. From the get-go,
that's true.
We are not going to identify what this relationship is. We are just having fun. Please don't try to put like a label on it. And he can't.
Well,
the compatibility factor with what they want is completely opposite, which is...
That's true.
But it happens in real life where you become kind of obsessed with someone, or more like the idea of someone instead of who they actually are.
That's it. That where some people never realize that.
And I love that because in the beginning of the movie, it was like, oh, her smile and her hair, and then when they break up, it's like, I hate that smile. I hate that chipped tooth.
I hate that mole on her. Blah, blah. Yeah.
And you fall in love with an idea of someone, and you kind of put them on a pedestal, which also isn't healthy. And I feel like 500 Days of Summer is something kind of low key that everyone will go through if you date enough people, if you date long enough at some point in your life, where someone is more committed than the other. And you just, what is it saying? Like when you're wearing like rose-colored glasses, all flags just look like flags.
Yeah,
You're
that's right.
blinded by love, and that is an actual thing that happens. But I feel like being aware of it,
man.
listening to the other person, and why communication is so important.
Yeah, it's
So you
very
don't
true.
have these weird missteps between in your relationship.
But the thing is also, it's that portion of being honest. And
Yes.
being honest not only with your significant other, but with yourself. Because the thing is, okay, she was honest. She was direct. She told him exactly what it was.
Yep.
He was like, oh, yeah, great, I could take that. But immediately you knew.
He was like, I want to marry this girl. I want to be in a
Exactly.
real relationship. I don't want her dating anyone else. And his actions that came after that with that misunderstanding where he knocks the guy out and pushes her further away.
Dude.
It's just something that happens. And
It is.
It,
Oh, God.
watching it the first time, like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like, I think he's absolutely adorable. And I love him so much. But, you know, watching that movie for a second time, I was like, you know what? That's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
his character, I don't necessarily like him, even though I love.
The more you,
Joseph.
even though I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt, it's like, yeah, the more you do watch it, you do get it for the whole perspective.
Yes.
First time you see it, it's going to be wherever you are in life is who you'll relate to in the film. I feel that to be the case for that movie every time. Because I know people and then I'm like, oh, hey, watch it again. Oh, watch it again. Watch it again.
Yeah.
Then they're like, then they really get it. And it's like, they see that understanding. Well, yeah, he was delusional. You know, this is true.
And we actually see this, and I think we go like this movie does it perfectly. The expectations versus reality of the situation.
I love
and
that.
It is like, and even in movies, they tell you to never do split screens. It's horrible.
It's
like
horrible, yeah.
it's but this does it so
Perfect.
phenomenally well that we all think about it like, hey, we're gonna get dressed up. This is how it's gonna go. It's gonna be perfect. But because you're not being real with yourself and what the situation is, you have this mismatch
Yeah.
of reality versus expectations.
Red Blue Blur, I think you should be the first one to call in, man. You're wondering who's calling in? I think it should be you, man. Go ahead. Step up. Make the call. That'll be perfect. But moving on. Another couple. Do you want to... We're going to go for potpourri. Just give
Well,
me
I
one.
saw earlier in here that someone mentioned Superman, and I'm guessing, I forgot, I'm
Ooh,
assuming it's Lois.
Superman and Lois?
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
Yeah, right, I think so.
I don't remember who said that, but I did see it up here somewhere. But how do you feel about Superman and Lois?
Funny enough, there is a phrase that people do say where they say, like being forthright, sometimes being too honest.
Okay.
I feel
In what way,
that okay. There are some things Superman or Clark does not have to tell Lois about the job because sometimes you are protecting someone, especially when you have a job where every day is nothing but danger. All it is danger to you. Come home, tell her, hey, you know what? I had this fight with so-and-so, blah, blah. Oh, it was tough, but I'm here, so we know it's good, blah, blah, yada, yada. He'll go into, and then the kryptonite and blah, blah, no, the kryptonite bullet. Don't give her all of that info all the time. You're going to make her
Worry even
worry
more.
every freaking day.
But where is the line? Okay, maybe it's an everyday occurrence, it's fine, but...
Well, then he tells her everything, too. Hey, do you want to know who Batman is? So, that's Bruce Wayne. Do you want to know who this person is? Dude, shut up! Don't go around telling her everything, man. Just kind of keep some secrets as secrets. You don't need to be always completely just a freaking, like, a reverse vacuum of information.
Well, but in the comics, we have Superman, right? And he plays kind of the opposite role. I haven't read all of
Lois
them.
Lane is possibly the world's greatest reporter. She could figure out Batman's identity if she wanted it. Don't assume that Superman just has loose lips.
I think he does. We've seen it before, but I just feel that it's like there's too much honesty, and sometimes that can be a problem. I'm not saying lie. I'm just saying
Well,
sometimes.
but see, the foundations of their
two bits.
relationship, though, she didn't know he was Clark Kent initially because, he parts his hair on the opposite side, but...
Well, I mean, hey, she's the world's greatest, she would have figured out, apparently that, one part to the side was not the... Shut up about it!
But it's kind of one of those things where Clark Kent, at least in the comics, was playing this opposite dude of what he... Like, Lois, it was a love triangle with the same dude, though. She loves Superman. Clark Kent loves her. She didn't pay attention to Clark. And it was like, how do you reconcile these
Can you guys hear me? There we go. There we go. There we go. Tell Nagami tell Nagami he rocks anyway. He's a dope. Ah, got it. Uh, you want me? Oh my. Uh. All right. If you guys can hear me, topic of like a.
Daniel, say something.
I got an example
Wait,
of a
test,
bad
test, 1 2 1 2.
relationship.
Can you guys hear me? Can the world hear me now?
Speak.
Okay,
Are we
keep
good?
going. I think we're probably good.
Are we good? Can you
think
guys
so.
hear us?
Okay.
Can you guys hear us?
Can he hear you?
Blackwing, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay.
All right, we're
yes!
good. Go ahead.
All right, we're good. Okay, so I got another example of a bad relationship for you. Batman and Talia al Ghul.
Ooh, Batman and Talia al Ghul. Now, Talia al Ghul is the mother of Batman's son. She essentially raped him, or drugged him, and had sex with him, and took his seed to have their child, Damien.
That
Great
is
man.
a bad start to a relationship. If you want relationship advice, don't let it start with rape.
No, it was consensual.
It was consensual?
She
That
just
was not
did it in
consensual.
vitro.
She drugged
Huh?
him.
She did.
She drugged him.
Well, yeah.
Oh, so she did
That's what I
steal his
thought.
seed and then in vitro? Whatever the case is, if having a child is not consensual, you should not be having a child.
Oh, well, but that's the thing. So she really, on paper, kind of like, yo, she should be your wife, man. Like, oh, those things match. And no, you know, she's
Like
secretive,
badass,
she's a ninja.
Fighting, able to keep a secret.
Exactly.
But
Her dad was what you considered a father figure, even though he's horrible too. Blah 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 blah, and yada yada yada.
oh,
You
father
two should
figure
just
and
be
daughter
together.
also doesn't work. I don't
Exactly.
like. I don't
It
even
sounds
like vague
incest.
semblance
It's
of
yeah, vague
incest.
semblance of incest, right? But
Don't
it was
like
like that. Like, okay, he was your teacher at one point. Blah blah blah. No. No, it's just a really bad.
You are
option for a
100%
relationship.
correct. That is a bad relationship. I'm glad you guys are able to spot that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just that's automatically a bad one. I think it's a bad one. But now, Blackwing, I got a question for you then. What do
Yo,
you
sir.
think about Batman and Catwoman? They are married now.
Nah,
What do you think about that?
They're not technically because I
Oh,
read
they're
the
not?
wedding. Because I read the wedding issue. The
Oh,
wedding didn't
well.
even happen. It didn't even happen.
Wait, but it's planning to happen, right? He proposed?
He
I don't even know
proposed.
how the
He
story goes. I
proposed.
didn't care anymore.
But we don't know
Okay,
what
this is what
happened. It
happened.
kind of like left that. I don't
Okay,
know,
this
like.
is what happened, and I read the issue. They were getting ready for the wedding, and then all of a sudden, Bruce is on one rooftop, and Selena's on a rooftop somewhere else. So they didn't even. The wedding didn't even happen, like at all.
Wow. So they both left each other standing at the altar.
Honestly,
but
like
on rooftops.
I like Selena though. I think that's my
Yeah.
personal preference. Like I like her as a person. I don't think they will ever have that level of trust that I think they would need to have a relationship flourish.
Because they live in a world of lies.
Yeah, I mean they really do, and they're both like fighting. And she kind of plays sides of good and bad depending how she feels and what the situation is. I feel like because if I were Batman, I could never 100% trust her, and I feel like trust is one of those key foundations of your relationship.
True.
Even though I like to see them together.
Oh yeah, man.
In real life, that would not work out. It would not be a healthy relationship, in my opinion.
No. I mean, because the thing is with them, there's the consistency of always wearing the mask. And when we say that, we know, oh, Batman is the real one and Bruce Wayne is the mask, blah, blah, Selina is this. So, yeah, the problem is always wearing the mask. Where's the authenticity? Where's the reality? Where's the real you? And the thing is, it's like, if, like we said last week, if you're always wearing a mask and you present yourself as this person, this mask, and then finally you take it off to feel comfortable, and then that person's like, oh, what the, you're not who oh, God. It's like, no, but you love me, ha, ha, ha. They're like, no, I married the mask, I didn't marry you. So it automatically can mean a problem, and that's what you're dealing with them.
And I feel like
Exactly. You just made a big revelation, just like on Spider-Man and Black Cat's relationship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's basically the same thing. Felicia, she's in love with Spider-Man, not Peter.
Like Black Cat.
Black Cat.
Hardy
I do like.
Huh. Okay. I get that.
That's kind of like
true.
the Lois and Superman thing a little bit. You're in love
little
with
bit?
like the superhero, and I feel like Mary Jane too. At least in the Tobey Maguire ones,
thing,
like she was in love with Spider-Man, not necessarily Tobey. She didn't pay him no attention. I mean, she was nice to him and cordial, but it wasn't like, oh dang, making side eyes at him or anything.
No,
that definitely wasn't going on.
She was giving him hints. But Peter was just denying it because he wanted to forsake. So, no way. Peter was making the right decision to forsake.
You know, I kind of agree with you on that one. I like that. I am swayed.
So then sacrifice your ability to have a relationship because of your job?
I don't know. That would have to be up to the couple. That would have. I mean,
but I mean, it's still up to the individual. They have to choose if they even want to pursue a relationship, or if they're like, no, I can't because of the job, and it's like that's it.
And I mean, like that happens in real life too. Like the people that are incredibly ambitious and career driven may not have time to dedicate to another person like the way it should be.
True.
You know,
that's
and
true.
like not taking away the mask and the superhero stuff. Like that happens in real life too, and it's super complicated. It's super hard.
I agree with you. I agree. But okay, Blackwing, thank you very much. We thank you for dealing with our technical issues.
Thanks for calling
We appreciate it. Thanks for the call in, and love you. Peace out. See you later. Just like, oh man, I'm entertained.
Are we back up?
Went up. Are we good?
Yeah.
Let's see. Guys, can you hear us?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay.
It's just not. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir. So we're going through a few, and I thought to myself, Black Widow and Winter Soldier.
Okay, so this is something I know you brought it up, and I want you to give me a little bit of backstory because in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's with Bruce Banner.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it kind of gives you in the beginning, it's like, oh, her and Hawkeye, because side characters you don't explore a lot.
Then you're like, oh, he's married. No.
Yeah, but then it's Bruce, and Bruce straight up abandons her, so that's obviously not a great thing either.
Because the monster inside, it could not be tamed. I had to save her and fly out to space.
The sun's getting real low, Brucey. But so tell me some backstory with Winter Soldier.
I really don't know too much about it. I just heard that they were a couple at one time or something like that, and I was like, I kind of see it. They're both spies.
So let's speculate on this then. We are 100% speculating that they have a very similar background, that they're kind of like undercover, that they're agents,
Yeah. My thing is, like, usually when it comes to relationships, you like to say that the past is always behind you. But with them...
It is not. You carry your baggage with you no matter where you go. And it is unfortunate. No matter how much you kind of want to leave baggage behind, you will always have that.
Exactly.
No matter how young you... Even in high school, I feel like that you're the product of how you were raised, the situation, your parents, and everything else.
Oh.
Everyone has baggage. And it's just like, you're looking for someone else's baggage that goes with yours.
That's true. And that's it. And so it's like, they match on so many levels. Kind of when you think about it, you're like, maybe. Producer Nagami?
Okay. Producer Nagami, my mic's out, so.
Okay.
Quick overview. He trained her, because he was in cryos.
You want to come over here so they can hear you? I think it'll be easier so we don't have to explain it again.
Okay. Because the Winter Soldier was in cryostasis, he met Natalia twice in her life. Once, when she was a teenager, he taught her how to be an assassin when she was learning. He was one of her instructors, and they had an affair, which was not allowed.
See,
so
that is that teacher-student relationship.
Teacher-student.
Oh my gosh, she was
Then,
underage?
No, go ahead.
well, I don't know if she's underage. She's
Oh,
she was
18.
So, and he was cryo, so he might have been early 20s.
That's true. Okay.
So, but then they put him back away, and then he came back as the Winter Soldier. He got his memories back. They kind of fell in love and fell into old habits, and so they both love each other for who they are. But of course, they're superheroes, so their relationship's complicated.
Okay.
As most relationships are complicated.
Yeah, but that's actually not bad because they actually love each other for who they are. That's not bad.
That is good.
Like,
And
hey, I know you have red on your ledger, but I don't care because I love you. Kiss my bionic arm. You know, like, it works out well.
is that how that works?
Yeah, maybe that's what he likes. You know, I don't know.
Hey, super chat from the Red Blue Blur.
Oh. Storm outside. They don't hear this yet. Okay, good. Sorry, guys. We're having a horrible storm out.
We do. There's like lightning
everywhere. A lot
everywhere.
of stuff
Lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
Hell yeah, right?
Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. Yeah, let's talk about Vipers for a moment. No. But so Felicity and Oliver are the Green Arrow and Felicity Smoke.
Okay.
Or Smoke.
Smoke.
Smoke. Most people don't like Felicity. I don't like her either. But she has gotten to a point, I believe, on the show where she's like, I'm not taking your shit. I think. And she calls him out on it. And I think that's what he needs. So it kind of works out. She knows his secret identity. She knows what he does. She's his woman in the chair. Like, all of that. So, and she's been put in danger for being with him. And now there's up to a point where I think they were supposed to get married, they didn't get married, and then they were dating again, now they're not dating again. I don't even know where they are.
It already sounds massively.
They're married again now.
They're married again? Okay.
It sounds massively complicated. And if you watch our show about taking a break, the on and off relationship, that doesn't really bode well. I'm sure there are some people who overcame those circumstances and had a happily ever after. But relationships in general, it's a continuous work effort on both sides.
Definitely.
Relationships are not easy. It is constant compromise, constant communication, and understanding and listening.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard work, man.
And so, Barry and Iris. So
Okay.
Barry the Flash.
Yes.
Iris was his adoptive sister. So, already a problem.
Well, they were just raised together in the same house.
Oh, so
raised
like,
together in the same
like
house 'cause
Clueless.
his dad went to jail.
Clueless
Yeah.
situation.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that.
Like
Paul
that,
Rudd
right? Exactly.
did not like
Did
that
not
at
like
all.
that at all.
Nope.
I was not comfortable with it in Clueless. Why was I comfortable
Sword Art
with it?
Online, not okay.
Oh, not
I don't
okay.
care.
Oh, that is
Don't
nasty.
care. If you are raised as like family,
your family.
your family, in my opinion, a
That's
lot
how
of
I
people.
feel about it.
I mean, at least like if you have kids, you won't have those recessive gene
true,
issues,
true.
which is fine.
True.
But just on a personal level, I'm not down with stuff like that. And you can fight me. That's fine.
I can't get it out of my head. The thing is, like, okay, I grew up with this person. This person is my sister. That's how I see them. I'm not ready to go ahead and bang on my sister. I'm not. It's just not a thing. It's definitely not a thing. I know that you had on your list at one moment, or just even to mention, Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast is one of those relationships that probably has been talked about a lot in articles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of talk about like Stockholm Syndrome and
Yes.
stuff like that. But realistically, the Beast, even if he came around, held her captive. Like their initial meet cute was putting her in jail.
Yeah, that's true.
In his castle. Like, I don't know about you guys, That doesn't speak romance and good, communication skills. And even mother, he like roars at her multiple times, like, you won't come to dinner.
People
and like
say
all this stuff.
when you find the right one, you gotta lock it down. So you lock her down.
Like literally lock it down. That's not what we mean. We mean figuratively.
If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. So what does he do? He gets a key ring and he puts her behind the door and locks it. You put the ring on it. It's like, she's in there. Now you're not getting out, and we're together forever. That's not how it goes?
Nope, but that is another one of those romantic movies that, as a kid, I loved it. Like, I still love the musical score and everything of Beauty and the Beast, and I think it's fun. But I do think growing up with these types of movies, and even like if you think about Sleeping Beauty, their meet cute was him kind of molesting her while she was like in a coma.
Dude, he was told to though. It wasn't.
I don't care if someone told you to go molest some sleeping girl.
No,
You're not going to do that. We are not going to condone Prince
we're not going to condone it. Yeah, we're not going to condone and say it was great. But the thing is, he's a prince. He's riding through, and they're like, all right, you can save this girl, but you have to kiss her to wake her up. You're not gonna kiss her to wake her up? I'm like,
Yo, I don't know you. I don't owe you nothing.
So then let her sleep there and just let her let her stay in that coma. So that was a better answer? Let her stay in the coma?
So we have Black Meme that's also talking about Tiana and Naveen, and it's a very similar thing of like, hey, I'm a frog, you gotta kiss me, I'll be Prince,
that's
whatever.
That's true.
Blackmail.
But yeah, see that is blackmail. That is.
Yeah, where it's like,
kiss
hey,
me, you'll be a princess.
Or like, I have money, I can give you something if you just give me a kiss, and I'm like, woo, a lot of these relationships.
Oh boy. See, that was the thing though with those two for that, but he told her, hey, kiss me, you'll be this, trust me, it's true. She did, and boom, but hey, she got exactly what she wanted. Sometimes you gotta kiss some frogs to,
Layla Nolan, I'm glad you brought up Nala and Simba. That is also incestuous. They share the same father. Mufasa is the one male lion in that entire pride. I am not okay with their relationship. But it's animals, so we can't put our own beliefs onto on the animal world. So I kind of
no, I thought even if animals.
Sometimes they do.
Does the incest still a problem,
Technically,
like genetically?
he should have left the pack and
created his own pride.
He was supposed to leave the pack and create his own pride.
And he did, he did with Timon and Pumbaa, and then he came back.
And his incestuous sister.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, and speaking of incest, hey.
What about the Lannisters that'll be coming back in April? Who's excited about Game of Thrones, the final season?
Yes!
I am. And one of the most toxic relationships, though.
Oh my God. Sorry. We're gonna do this. We're going to talk about Game of Thrones. Talk about it the proper way. There you go. Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage. Right,
that's definitely the words to that theme song.
Hey, you can put anything. There are no words, so I can make up my own words. And
sorry, Layla, I didn't mean to ruin your movie.
What movie was
it? I actually really love Lion King. I like the second one too. That's more Romeo and Juliet. The first one's Hamlet. Love it. From a literature standpoint, I like it a lot.
Baby Scar and his, that's true. But speaking about Game of Thrones, a man with the golden arm, and his sister, the woman with the, I guess, toxic scent.
That is one of the most interesting relationships because we don't know how it's going to be resolved. But coming up from the same background, like identical backgrounds, and.
Aren't they twins?
They are twins.
I think they're twins too.
They are. But that's the thing.
It doesn't make it any better.
They share the world together. And in the beginning, like Jaime Lannister is Cersei's only confidant, really, because she is a woman. She's not allowed to do a lot of things. She has ambitions, but in this time, being a woman doesn't allow you to do certain things. So kind of having Jaime to be her minion in certain instances.
It's not okay though, dude.
And she is the master manipulator. The reason why he took on the white cloak is because I'm in King's Landing. I'm betrothed to this other person. I want you to be there with me. Mm-hmm. You need to take this. This is such a toxic relationship where
she's manipulative.
Yes.
She's controlling, and she sees their relationship as a stepping stone, socioeconomically.
I do believe in the beginning, though, she genuinely loves Jaime, like both romantically and and like you see it in the very beginning. Spoilers if you haven't watched season 1. Jaime is like the things I do for love, and shoves a little boy out of a window.
Yo, your nephew, right?
No.
No. The Starks and the Lannisters are not. They're not.
Okay,
married,
good,
yeah.
good. All right. So yeah, you just
But
gotta.
but he was.
Oh, friend of the family,
They
right out the
were. They
window.
were a guest. They were a guest at the Starks' place, and he tries to
dude.
murder one of their children.
But the thing is, he, on the other hand, though she's manipulative, controlling, and she sees it as a stepping stone, he's passive. He's codependent, and he's
Yes.
lying to himself about the commitment that they are in.
And especially now, like, if you guys are caught up, we won't go into like major spoilers, but we see this shift in the relationship because
Oh,
men
yes, we do.
typically in the Game of Thrones universe hold all of the power, hold all of the control.
Oof.
But Cersei has always been the master manipulator
Yep.
and knows how to trigger Jaime because they have that close bond and they had that relationship for too long.
true.
And
It's
is
true.
kind of playing him like a
Dude.
fiddle. I don't know how to play fiddles,
I don't
but
know. Yeah, I don't know what a fiddle. There you
but
go.
yeah,
It's
and
an instrument.
this is probably one of the worst relationships, and I feel bad because we're wrapping up this episode and we didn't have any time to talk about positive relationships. I hope you guys maybe
Darn.
learned something about these horrible,
Well,
toxic.
did we have one? Did we have one? Maybe? Did you have one on your list? Maybe.
I didn't. I actually had an example of like, if you guys want to do homework about toxic masculinity, there's this movie with not Catwoman, Anne Hathaway. She is Catwoman,
uh-huh.
but it's called Colossal. And if you,
Oh my
if you
God!
like Power Rangers, there are robots, there are monsters.
There's
and
kaiju. It's
It is super interesting. I watched this like a few
Okay,
weeks ago, and
okay.
I absolutely loved it. And I was like, this is a perfect example of that
Okay.
toxic masculinity. So if you have
Okay.
like questions about it, watch it. I think it might help
Oh,
people
man.
understand what it's like.
Oh boy, it's very interesting. That's a good one. That's a good one. But no good relationship like examples. Do you have
wonder-
any? Maybe.
If you guys
Yeah.
have any in the chat, post a comment. Maybe we'll talk about it. Or you can go to Facebook to THS
Oh,
hashtaggers. Put examples
Stars and Pepper
of
Pots.
positive relationships there because we spent like a good hour talking about negative ones and we want to
yeah,
end on a
it's kind
positive
of hard. I
note.
really want to end on a positive note, but I'm trying to think about like one that's in pop culture. That's I mean, I don't know. Well, we did say Jay and Ben. Yes.
I got that video from Jessica.
Oh, and we actually have a special video from Jessica. You guys remember her? We miss her so
That's
much.
right.
So let's go ahead and play that video from her.
Hi guys! I miss you guys so much.
Sorry.
I'm here.
Remix.
We made it. Nashville. Last week I didn't send in a video. We have no idea how to we were on the road.
Yeah,
so it was me and
no.
my dad in one car, Jordan in his day.
That's a good one.
Unless you want to turn the audio on maybe on
We
the
made it
laptop.
in 3 days. Stopped in Oklahoma and
It's already.
New Mexico.
They're gonna be behind.
And
I know.
New Mexico, then Oklahoma.
Are we still not
Yeah,
here?
and we made it to Nashville. So it's been a
Oh,
lot
is it
of fun.
'cause
It's
the
been a lot
chat
of
has popped up?
unpacking, a
Nothing.
lot of just getting settled, running errands, eating the good
Nothing.
food. Southern food's incredible, so I expect to be
Did you
double
preview
my
the
size
video
by
at
the
all?
end of the
Nope.
year. And,
All right, so none of us
yeah, it's
have
awesome.
any idea what she's talking about.
And if you guys listen to it and see what she
Like,
said,
every night. of
Could- I mean, could you
go
listen to
somewhere
it?
and listen
I know we'll be behind, but
really
Oh,
talented.
they can hear us.
Oh, okay.
It's incredible. So
Okay, so
anyway,
we can hear
that's what
us
I'm doing
talking
here. We
over
had a lot of
the
fun
videos.
with our dads. It was a good trip. So we're all safe and tuckered in. And I hope you guys are doing well. I miss you tons. You know that already. I'm not going to get emotional this time, I promise. But I know you guys are talking about superhero relationships tonight. So I think all I have to say is you guys know me. I love Harley Quinn. But her and the Joker have a toxic relationship. Anyways, I love you guys so much. See you guys later. Bye.
I done messed up.
the weather. The weather.
I'm so sorry for talking over Jess.
Sorry, guys. We're so sorry.
We actually have no idea what she said.
Yeah, because
We are obviously having some sound issues,
Yeah, slow.
but I'm sure it was incredibly insightful.
We can show,
definitely was.
we can show it again next
Show it.
time.
We will.
Do you want to just rerun it again? We'll be quiet.
Okay.
Let's run it
Well,
again.
let's run it again, and we won't talk over her this time.
Hi guys! I miss you guys so much. I'm here. We made it. Nashville. Last week I didn't send in a video or call in. We were on the road, so it was me and my dad in one car, Jordan and his dad and Sophie in the other car. But we made it in 3 days. Stopped in Oklahoma and New Mexico, New Mexico, then Oklahoma. Yeah, then we made it to Nashville. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of unpacking, a lot of just getting settled, running errands, eating the good food. Southern food's incredible. So I expect to be double my size by the end of the year. And but yeah, it's awesome. I just love the live music. I think that's my favorite part so far. Is like every night of the week you can go somewhere and listen to live music, and it's really talented people. Like, it's incredible. So anyway, that's what I'm doing here. We had a lot of fun with our dads, and it was a good trip. So we're all safe and tuckered in, and I hope you guys are doing well. I miss you tons. You know that already. I'm not going to get emotional this time, I promise. But I know you guys are talking about superhero relationships tonight, so I think all I have to say is, you guys know me. I love Harley Quinn, but her and the Joker have a toxic relationship. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Anyways, I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Hi, guys.
Well, we love that message. We're glad that she made it over to Nashville safe and sound.
So
Hopefully she'll be able to submit videos on a weekly basis concerning some of the topics that we are talking about, because we love to see her and we do miss her a lot. So, and we will work out our sound issues and not talk over the videos.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry. We'll make sure not to do that again. We made our mistake this time.
But thanks so much for joining in. If you guys have suggestions for good relationships, remember to post them. Even if you want to send us articles about your top
Heck
5
yeah, if you guys have
relationships.
if you have a top 5 as far as relationships, whether it be good or bad, and you think that it's something that you can go ahead and send over to us so we'd be able to read it, we'd love to. Send it over to us at, is it the fan questions, or what are we going to use?
You can use fan questions.
Oh, fan questions at that#show.com.
I don't know. I'm gonna wait for exactly what our producer tells us we should use, because I trust him.
Yeah, but we'd love to hear, like...
Oh, okay, fan questions. All right. So, fan questions at that#show.com. You can send in anything you want to there concerning, well, this topic. Just relationships, evaluating them, just relationships, pop culture. And,
because Layla does say Jada and Will Smith, and if you can just give us a couple sentences of why you think they are a positive example of a healthy, good relationship, we'll read them on the show next week.
Heck yeah, it would be great. We'd love to be able to go ahead and discuss that, and then open up the show with a new topic as well.
And then we will discuss some of your answers. If you could send us what you think is a healthy relationship and why it is, we will read it, and we will go into depth.
Oh, yeah.
Analyze answers.
I love it, and we can definitely do that, so make sure to do that, and let us know exactly what you think. So with that, I think it's time for us to wrap up.
Yes.
Elle, where can everyone find you?
I'm Elle Tea on Facebook, and I'm also in that THS Hashtaggers Facebook group, so you can @me there.
There you go. And for me, I'm Battlestar Galactica on Instagram, and on Facebook, you'll find me at the THS Hashtaggers page. I'm very active. Both of us are. We'll talk to you guys there as well. So hit us up there. And remember, since con season is coming up, no one wants to walk into a con with an old shirt. Time to get a new shirt. Head over to TeePublic and get one of our That Hashtag Show shirts. And with it, you'll be able to go into a con in style. You'll have one of the coolest mashup shirts there, and everyone's going to want to talk to you and find out exactly where you got it from. Trust me, it's an icebreaker.
It is. It's super fun.
It is. So go ahead and do that. Check that out. Check out the website. It's been great talking to you guys. We look forward to doing it again next week at the same hashtag time on the same hashtag channel. So that's Elle. I'm Daniel. And make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to keep up to date with everything trending
In geek pop culture.